So welcome back to another episode, and today I thought I'd look back on the Nintendo Switch the last 4 years, some of my thoughts on it. So guys, let me know down below, what do you think about the Nintendo Switch? Has it lived up to your expectations? Was it as fun as you thought it would be? Has it disappointed you? What have you liked about it? What have you disliked about it? It's unusual to look here and see that I have a Nintendo Switch collection, because 4 years ago, we were all anticipating this brand new machine by Nintendo. Some of us were not. I remember there were a lot of naysayers at the time, a lot of people saying, man, it's just gonna be the Wii U 2. And they were saying that because the Wii U, as cool as it was, had so many great games on it, was not the financial success that Nintendo wanted. And it never really resonated with the mass public. It did for the hardcores, but that's about it. I like the Wii U, as I say. So a lot of people were saying, doom and gloom for Nintendo. Nintendo will not be able to get out of this hole. This is where they are, and this is where they're gonna lie. And no matter what they do, they're doomed. They're doomed. I even did a lot of podcasts and things at the time, talking to a lot of people, and a lot of people were saying, Nintendo's finished, they cannot come back. Until there was that small little trailer online showing the Nintendo Switch and what it was going to be. And I remember looking at it going, oh wow, like it's kind of like the Wii U, but so much more compact. That's the thing I liked the most about it, because the Wii U gamepad was just too big, it was too bulky, it didn't last for very long. It was kind of frustrating that way. So they were showing this brand new machine that would end up becoming this, which is absolutely crazy. And I was like, whoa. What I liked was, and I still to this day like it, still to this day, I sound like a broken record, I love the portability of the machine, like so many of us out there. But it was so fresh, it was so brand new, it was so fascinating that you could just take this anywhere and then bring it home, put it in the dock, and it's on the TV. I love that idea. Now, years ago, I had the Game Boy player for the GameCube. And so you could get your Game Boy game, put it in the player, and play it on the TV, or you could just put it in your portable machine and take it with you. And that idea I liked way before even the Switch was out. And so I was like, that's a cool idea. When I saw the Switch, when I saw what it could do, I was like, And so, like a lot of people out there, my imagination started to race, thinking, oh wow, I can go to a park and bring my Switch with me, play it, play an RPG, and then bring it home, put it on a dock, and play it on the TV right from where I left off. That was very exciting. I mean, if I was a kid and I had this, I would have been over the moon, man. I had the Game Boy and a magnifying glass when I was a kid, and that's all we had, and we liked it. So the anticipation was building up, and everybody was waiting to see what the Switch would be, and then it came out, and then I made an outlandish claim. And people were like, oh, you're getting paid by Nintendo. I was just like, geez, I wish I was. No, I didn't. I played Breath of the Wild, and I played it over at my friend Victor Lucas' place because he got a Nintendo Switch early. And so I was nipping over there and I was playing it. I was playing Breath of the Wild, and it felt like it was high school again, going to a friend's place and they had a brand new game before, anybody else. And I was playing Breath of the Wild there, and I was like, this is something very, very special. This is something very, very new. And then the more I played it, I'm like, no, this is something way else. And all of a sudden I was like, I couldn't believe the graphics, and I couldn't believe what Breath of the Wild was doing. And it was taking all the things that I liked in the original Zelda, the exploration, the mystery, and it had applied it into this brand new game, which is right here. And my imagination was captured by, like, incredibly so, a launch game. A launch game could be this good. Nintendo was doing the Dreamcast route with this. They were just shooting all their powerhouse games out right in that first opening window. And they did really extraordinary. And I played Breath of the Wild, and then I finished Breath of the Wild a few weeks later when I got my own copy, when it officially came out. And I made an outlandish claim that I still claim to this day, that Breath of the Wild is my favorite video game of all time. My favorite nostalgia game of all time is Phantasy Star. It's right up there. They're hand in hand together. But Breath of the Wild was doing something that I couldn't believe it was a Nintendo game. And I was like, what has Nintendo been doing behind the scenes? Because they weren't innovative for a little bit of time there, then all of a sudden they got incredibly innovative. And then they pushed the envelope. And now people are trying to copy them for Breath of the Wild. So for the opening launch, it was kind of extraordinary. Never mind that 1, 2, 3 Switch. That was not good stuff. That was like a terrible demo. But it was Breath of the Wild that shined so very brightly. And then when everybody else got a chance to play it, so many other people fell in love with the game as well. And it was that portability. It's like, I'm playing Breath of the Wild on my screen. Wait, I'm taking it to the park. I'm taking it on the bus. I'm taking it over to a friend's place. It's really cool. And I'm going to say all throughout this episode, I cannot get over the portability. It never gets old. It's never one of those things that's like, yeah, I'm used to it now. I'm always a bit in, whoa, that's really cool. And I think in the opening launch time, when all of a sudden we were getting things like Mario Odyssey, a spiritual successor to Mario 64, Nintendo was giving the fans what they wanted. They were giving me what I wanted anyways, so I was really thrilled. And they were also throwing in some strange ones as well, like ARMS, a game that, for me, I really, really liked a lot. I like this game more than I should, I think. And it caught my imagination. I loved having the Joy-Cons off and, using them. And that was the other thing, taking the Joy-Cons off, and using it that way. Very, very interesting. And it was a very fascinating machine. And then all of a sudden, guess what happened? The games started to come out. So it's like Smash Brothers and Link's Awakening, and up to now, some of them are ports. Some of them are ports, like Super Mario 3D World, but we got Bowser's Fury with it. We got a little bit extra. Even with Mario Kart Deluxe, which, I mean, is one I've said it's a 10 out of 10 game. When I first reviewed it, I said it was a 9 out of 10 game, but I played it so much over the last 4 years that I'm like, no, I guess a 10 because I'm still playing it and it's still that much fun. And Mario Kart Deluxe, and yeah, they gave all the DLC and all that. And there's been a lot of ports, like even looking here, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which my wife just finished after 170 hours. It's a port of a Wii game, but my God, did they ever do such a great job. And looking at the graphics on the Switch has surprised me. Now, I must admit, when I go to, say, get Dragon Quest 11 on the PS4, or Dragon Quest 11 on the Switch, what do I get? Well, I get both. But do I prefer the PS4 one? Yes, it's a bit more, frames of animation, stuff like that. But I'm telling you, the Switch has surprised me. Even the port of Skyrim, to get Skyrim on the Switch was kind of a shock at the time. I was like, really? Whoa, they did a great job. And remember, everybody, the thing that gets me the most, I've said it before, it's always on that little cart. The little carts. And that's another thing why I like the Nintendo Switch, the little cartridges. It reminds me of the Super Nintendo, the NES, those old days, where you just had a little cart, you put it in, and it played. Yes, some games really frustrate me that the games are not on there and you have to download them. That always frustrates me. But all of a sudden, we start to get some exclusive games as well that kind of shocked me. Does anybody remember Octopath Traveler? That captured every 16-bit, 32-bit RPG fan's heart. All of a sudden, we fell in love, and we're like, wow, we're getting games like this, by Square Enix on the Switch. And it was a remarkable game. I was like so thrilled. And we've gotten a lot of other things that I didn't ever think we would get on a Switch. I remember with the the PS3 and stuff like that, they didn't want 2D games and stuff like that. They're like, no. And especially the PS2, they're like, just full 3D, you gotta go full 3D. Where it was so beautiful, there's been some beautiful 2D games brought over to the Switch as well. I'm gonna get into that in a second, but things I never thought I would see. Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy, all on one cartridge? Yes, let me say something. Am I a Nintendo fan? Yes. Am I a Sega fan? Yes. Am I a Sony fan? Yes. Am I a Microsoft fan? Yes. Bandai Namco fan? Yes. I'm a fan of all these companies, Square Enix for sure. I want them all to do well so I can enjoy all these games. It's a pure pleasure when all of a sudden they start giving us stuff that we've always wanted. And even things like, Limited Run coming in there and giving me things I never thought I'd get on a Switch. Grandia, the high definition collection on the Switch. That was for me, man. That was for me. And a lot of other great things happened as well. A lot of really cool controllers. Started to get a lot of really cool controllers. I love collecting some of the Nintendo Switch controllers. I think they're really awesome. And we started getting some interesting peripherals, like the Pokeball Plus. Remember this right here? It was just fun. It was just fun. Did we use it for every game? No, but it was fun to use it for those types of games. And it was neat to all of a sudden start getting special editions on the Switch. Because we were just getting a few games coming out, right? And then all of a sudden the Switch library started to increase. We started to get these beautiful special editions that are gorgeous. Things like, Link's Awakening, right here, which is the Dreamer Edition. So excellent. And all of a sudden I just started to really fall in love with the Nintendo Switch, and my love for the Switch has risen over the last 4 years. And it's weird when you think, the anticipation. I've often talked about it on the show. You're waiting for a machine to come out, and all of a sudden, boom, 4 years later, these are all the games I have for it. I already have a small Nintendo Switch collection. Where does the time go? Where's the time go? And the thing is it's been a great machine for indie developers. It's been a great machine, almost to a fault, that there's so many games that I think a lot of indie developers have gotten lost in the shuffle. There are so many games on the Nintendo Switch that you can't even wrap your head around it. There's that many. But that's what's great about the machine. There's such a diversity of games. There's RPGs, there's racing games, there's sports games. There's every kind of game that you could ever desire, and then going into the indie games and discovering beautiful little gems on there as well. Now, there's a few faults with the Switch, things that I didn't personally like, and they weren't meant for me. So I don't hold it to too much fault, like Labo. Remember the cardboard technology, I just couldn't get with the program with that one, and I was like, I think that would be fun for a kid to put together, and they'd have a lot of fun with that. And so I realized that Nintendo creates, games for a wide spectrum of an audience. So yes, they create they ask for Octopath Traveler to come to their machine for the hardcore RPG fans. But Labo, I believe, was for children and the young at heart. But that was the one thing that I was just like, I don't quite get that Labo stuff and all that. And then all of a sudden we started to get revisions of the Nintendo Switch. Never mind all the rumors of the next Pro model and stuff like that. We got the Switch Lite. And the Switch Lite was a really nice little machine. I love this, and it was so compact and it was so sturdy. It still is to this day, and it's a really nice thing to have as a handheld device. That's it, and you just need a really good case for it, right? But I really liked how it felt, how it controlled, and all that. And you know what the funny thing is about this Nintendo Switch, this Switch Lite right here? I lost this at an airport. Yeah, I was at an airport. I was coming back from a movie screening. I was really sick at the time, a couple of years ago. I get on the plane, I get home, and after I started feeling a little bit better, I was like, where's my Switch Lite? Where is it? And I'm like, when I went through customs, I took it out and I didn't put it back in. I had a bit of a fever at the time. So I wrote to the airport, and guess what? They had it. And I had to spend a stupid amount of money to get it back. But I got it back, got my Switch Lite back, because I like it that much. I really wanted to have it back. And what is your time with the Nintendo Switch been like? Have you enjoyed it? Has it lived up to your expectations? Has it disappointed you? I'd be very, very curious. The Switch keeps on growing on me as more and more games come out. Now, yes, in the last year, has there been a bit of a drought for Nintendo? There has been, and I think they're doing a shift because of what happened in the pandemic. I think it's shifted everybody in the industry. Everything's gone pushed back, or they're holding things back for a brand new model coming out at Christmas time. And to think about getting Breath of the Wild 2 and a Metroid Prime 4, this is the stuff of legends, man. Once we get that stuff, the Nintendo Switch will be edged as one of my favorite machines of all time at that point. Never mind all the other games I'm sure they're working on behind the scenes. And I think the machine is it is a commercially massive hit. But for me, as a video gamer, as a person who appreciates, as an enthusiast of the hobby, this has been a wonderful machine to be a part of, and to get, to go to Play Asia and to import like the Ninja Saviors and things like that, and a lot of the games that are in English as well, like Ace Attorney I was able to get, and things like that are really cool. And also getting a chance to get Final Fantasy 7 and 8, bundled together with all the games that are on there. They're you don't have to download it. It's been really, really good. I've had a really great time with the Switch, and it took me back. When I first played Breath of the Wild, I was like, I didn't think it was going to be this good. Like, for a lot of these games, I didn't think Nintendo had it in them. And Nintendo has shocked me with the Switch. They didn't shock me with the Wii U, but they've shocked me with the Switch. Of all the things that are going on behind the scenes, I mean, getting a chance to play Link's Awakening, the way that they recreated it, and I'm looking forward to recreations of future games that they do. It's going to be extraordinary what Nintendo does in the future, and it's been great. I've really enjoyed my PS4. I really, my PS5 and my Xbox Series X and and One, and it's been really fun with the Switch. The amount of times I did go to a park and I did bring this. I played my Capcom collection, or Stadium now, or the Capcom collection, the Belt Action one with all of the arcade games in it from back in the day. I mean, it's been awesome. What are some of your favorite games on the Nintendo Switch? Has it lived up to your expectations over the last 4 years? It's blown mine out the window. I've been really, really shocked, and it's been a real pleasure to be a part of it and to try out some of these amazing games, that is for sure. So anyways, guys, until next time.